The next startup is, now that we are leaving the area of bioconversion, is from the construction area. Concular is a startup which is focusing on closing construction value chains. We all know how much is destructed, how much is demolished. We can see it every day around us. And the question is, what happens to all those building materials? I hope we have Concular in by now, because last information I got a couple of minutes back was you were not in yet, but shouting out to the world, Concular, are you there?
I'm here. Yep, hi.
Super, hey, good to have you.
Hey, a warm welcome to all of you. I'm Julius, one of the co-founders of Concular, and we are closing the loop of construction materials. Next slide. The construction sector is the biggest polluter of GHG emissions and waste globally. Next slide. Instead of landfilling materials after use, we have to reuse it to save emissions, waste, and resources. Next slide. With Concular, we built a software as a service to make reuse easy, profitable, and measurable. Next slide. We digitize and assess materials in buildings before deconstruction and create a digital inventory of product passports. Next slide. And match it with material demands coming from new construction projects. Next slide. This saves time and costs and also gives reliability to all the stakeholders. Next slide. We manage the value chain and quality assurance until the material gets built in again. Next slide. And for every reuse, we measure the impact on emissions and cost reduction. Next slide. We work with some of the biggest project developers, manufacturers, architecture offices, and cities on projects all over Germany right now. Next slide. And our expert team is coming from the construction sector, but also from software development and sales and marketing. Next slide. We're looking forward to work with you as manufacturers, cities, building owners, or companies in the construction value chain to make a construction or deconstruction project more circular, or help you to reduce GHG emissions by recirculating your materials. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Julius. I think, as you said, this is the biggest emitter, the biggest waste streams of all are produced in the construction sector. So it is more than worthwhile to identify ways to close those loops. And the waste of the one party is the input product potentially of another party.